Welcome back to my channel. Today we explore the value of specific coins, the top 6 most valuable U.S. Jefferson nickel coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First, up the 2007 nickel that carries the Philadelphia Mint mark, the letter P specifically. We are looking at its value in extra fine condition and what it means for today's market. The Jefferson nickel has gone through several design changes since its introduction. The obverse of the coin, or the front side, has always featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse design for many decades displayed his famous home, Monticello, which remains a central symbol on the coin. In 2007, the Monticello design had been restored after the short-lived westward journey nickel series of 2004 and 2005. So, the 2007 nickel is significant because it was one of the first full years where the traditional Monticello design returned with a slightly updated portrait of Jefferson that was first introduced in 2006. This design change has added a certain level of interest for collectors who appreciate the evolution of U.S. coinage. The 2007 Jefferson nickel with the P Mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Mintage figures show that hundreds of millions of these coins were produced, making it a common coin in general circulation. However, the condition of the coin and the specific details of its preservation play a huge role in determining its value. Most Jefferson nickels from this year in mint are still only worth face value when found in worn, circulated condition, because they are so widely available. But once we start considering better grades, such as extra fine condition, the value begins to move upward. Extra fine condition refers to a coin that has seen only light circulation. The details of Jefferson's hair and face remain sharp. The lettering is clear, and Monticello, on the reverse, still retains most of its design without significant wear. For collectors, coins in this condition are far more appealing than the heavily worn examples that have passed through thousands of hands. When looking at the current market, values for the 2007 P. Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition are relatively modest but still above face value. In today's coin market, such a coin generally sells for around 20 to 50 cents, depending on the buyer and the specific eye appeal of the coin. Some dealers may offer slightly higher prices if the coin has particularly strong luster or fewer contact marks than usual. While this is not a high-value coin compared to rare and low-mintage nickels from earlier decades, it is still collectible because of its role in modern U.S. coinage history. It is also important to understand that extra fine condition is just one step on the grading scale. If a 2007 P nickel is found in about uncirculated or mint state condition, the value can increase more noticeably. Uncirculated coins, which show no wear from circulation, can sometimes sell for $1 or more, especially if they have a brilliant strike and strong details. Certified examples graded by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can command even higher prices if they reach grades of MS66 or MS67. However, for extra fine coins, the value tends to stay within the lower range, appealing more to beginner collectors who want affordable examples of modern coins in attractive condition. The market for modern nickels like the 2007 P is driven less by rarity and more by condition and collector interest. Since so many were produced, finding a rare example is unlikely unless it has a special error or variety. Some collectors actively search for die cracks, doubling off-center strikes, or other mint errors from the year 2007. These kinds of errors can raise the value of the coin significantly, sometimes into the tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on the severity and visibility of the mistake. Without such errors, however, the coin's value in extra fine condition remains modest. Still, the 2007 P nickel plays an important role in coin collecting. It represents the continuation of the Jefferson Nickel series and the restored Monticello design. Collectors often put together complete sets of Jefferson nickels, and having an extra fine or better condition coin from 2007 helps make that set more appealing and consistent. It is a reminder that even coins from the recent past can carry historical and educational significance, connecting everyday pocket change to the larger story of American history and artistry in coin design. In conclusion, while the 2007 Jefferson nickel with the P Mint mark may not be among the most valuable coins in the United States, it still has a place in the collector market. In extra fine condition, its value today typically ranges between 20 cents and 50 cents, making it worth more than its face value but still affordable for most collectors. For those who are new to the hobby, coins like the 2007 P nickel are an excellent entry point because they are accessible, historically meaningful, and visually appealing when preserved well. And for advanced collectors, finding pristine examples or unusual varieties can add both challenge and excitement. The Jefferson nickel remains a symbol of enduring American coinage, and the 2007 P nickel in extra fine condition is a small but significant piece of that tradition. Next up, the 2012 Jefferson nickel with the D Mint mark. which indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. While most modern nickels are not considered highly valuable compared to older collectible coins, collectors and coin enthusiasts often ask about the potential value of even newer issues, especially when it comes to examples that may not be in pristine condition. In this video, we are going to discuss the 2012 Monticello Jefferson nickel in what is referred to as normal damaged condition, and consider how much it might be worth in the current market. To begin, it is important to understand the background of this coin. The Jefferson nickel design has undergone a few changes since its introduction. In 2006, the U.S. Mint introduced a new forward-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson for the obverse side of the coin. The reverse, however, retained the classic image of Monticello, which was Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. The 2012 issue continues with this updated design. On the obverse, you will see Jefferson's bust facing forward with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2012. On the reverse side, you will see along with the inscriptions, "E pluribus una Monticello, 5 cents, United States of America," and, in this case, the mint mark D for Denver. Now, the Denver Mint produced a very large number of these nickels in 2012. In fact, hundreds of millions of them were struck, making them a very common coin that still circulates widely today. Because of this extremely high mintage, there is nothing inherently rare about the 2012 nickel. Most examples you find in circulation today will be in worn or damaged condition. When we say damaged condition, we are referring to coins that have scratches, dings, heavy wear, discoloration, or other signs of circulation that lower their appeal to collectors. Collectors are usually interested in coins that are either rare, have errors, or are in exceptionally high grades, such as mint, state, or proof condition. Unfortunately, a normal circulated or damaged example of a 2012 Jefferson nickel does not fall into these categories. In the current coin market, its face value remains 5 cents, and for the vast majority of damaged coins from this year and mint, they do not sell for any premium above their denomination. If you were to attempt to sell such a coin to a dealer, it would almost certainly only be accepted at face value, since dealers focus on coins with collector demand. That being said, it is still worth discussing the range of values depending on condition. For example, an uncirculated 2012 nickel, taken directly from a mint set or a fresh roll, may sell for a small premium to collectors who are assembling date and mint mark sets. Typically, a mint state example could bring between 25 cents to $1 depending on the buyer and the grade. Certified high-grade examples, such as those graded MS67 by a professional grading service, can occasionally reach values of several tens of dollars or more, but these are outliers and require nearly flawless coins. Proof versions struck at the San Francisco Mint for collectors are also more desirable. In contrast, a coin that has been in circulation for many years and has obvious wear and damage is simply considered common pocket change. The fact that it carries the mint mark does not add special value, because both the Denver and Philadelphia mints struck such high numbers that there is no rarity factor. In today's market, the realistic value for a damaged 2012 Jefferson nickel is only its face value of 5 cents. Collectors rarely pay extra for coins that show extensive damage unless there is an unusual mint error involved, such as an off-center strike, a doubled die, or a planchette flaw. Without one of these recognized errors, damage from circulation is just considered normal wear. Despite the low monetary value, coins like the 2012 nickel still hold some interest for beginning collectors, children learning about money, or anyone who enjoys searching through change. Sometimes finding a coin with a specific year or mint mark can be personally satisfying, even if the financial value is minimal. It can also serve as an introduction to the broader world of coin collecting, where rarity, condition, and demand all play major roles in determining prices. To summarize, the 2012 Monticello Jefferson nickel in normal damaged condition is a common coin with a current market value of 5 cents, which is equal to its face value. While pristine uncirculated examples may carry a small premium, and certified, high-grade coins can sometimes bring higher prices, a circulated and damaged example does not attract collector interest. It is a reminder that not every coin from the United States, even those that are over 10 years old, automatically has high value. The key factors that drive coin value are rarity, condition, and collector demand. And in the case of this coin, none of those elements are strong enough to raise its worth above its denomination. Still, holding on to a 2012 nickel can be a fun way to appreciate the artistry of the design and the history of the Jefferson nickel series. Every coin tells a story, and while this particular issue may not be a treasure in terms of money, it remains a part of the everyday fabric of American coinage. If you happen to come across one in your pocket change, you can be certain that its value in today's market is 5 cents. Unless, of course, you are lucky enough to find a mint error or a nearly flawless, uncirculated example. Next up, the 2006 Monticello Jefferson Nickel. especially in extra fine condition, and try to understand its current value in the marketplace. The year 2006 was an important one for the Jefferson Nickels series. In 2004 and 2005, the United States Mint released a series of nickels known as the Westward Journey Nickels, which honored the 200th anniversary of the Lewis and Clark expedition. These special designs replaced the traditional Monticello reverse that had been in use for decades. But beginning in 2006, the Mint returned to a new design featuring Monticello on the reverse and a new forward-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. This design change gave collectors renewed interest in the series. The 2006 Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, which produced hundreds of millions of these coins. Because the mintage numbers were so high, most 2006 nickels remain very common in circulation today. For the average example found in pocket change, the value is simply its face value of 5 cents. However, when we look at coins in higher grades, such as extra fine condition, the story becomes more interesting. Extra fine condition, often described with the abbreviation XF, refers to a coin that has seen light circulation but still retains most of its detail. On a 2006 Jefferson nickel in extra fine grade, you should expect to see Jefferson's hair details clearly, his facial features sharp, and only light wear on the high points. The Monticello building on the reverse should still show strong details on the columns, the dome, and the steps. The coin may have some small signs of wear and a bit of softness in the finer lines. But overall, it should look attractive and well preserved. In today's coin market, collectors usually seek out higher grade examples of modern nickels because they want coins that are better than the typical pocket-worn pieces. The value of a 2006 Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition is modest, but it can still be higher than face value. As of now, these coins generally sell for around 25 cents to 50 cents when sold individually to collectors or through coin shops. That means a coin with a face value of 5 cents can bring several times its original worth if it is well preserved. When we consider bulk lots, coin dealers often sell rolls of 2006 nickels in extra fine or better condition. A full roll of 40 coins might be priced around $10 to $12 depending on the quality. That averages out to about 25 to 30 cents per coin, which again reflects the small premium collectors are willing to pay for nicer examples. Another aspect that can raise the value of a 2006 nickel is if the coin has an error or variety. For example, certain nickels from this year may display die cracks, doubling, or off-center strikes. These types of mint errors can greatly increase the value, with some examples bringing several dollars or even tens of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and collector demand. If you happen to find a 2006 nickel with one of these unusual features, it is worth having it examined by a professional coin dealer or a third-party grading service. Speaking of grading services, certified coins also play an important role in determining value. A 2006 nickel that has been graded by companies like PCGS or NGC and given an official extra fine grade may sell for slightly more than an uncertified example. Certification provides collectors with peace of mind regarding authenticity and condition, which can raise demand. However, because the base value of these nickels is still relatively low, it often does not make sense to pay the grading fees unless the coin is in an especially high grade, such as mint state. But it is also helpful to look at the bigger picture of why collectors care about coins like the 2006 nickel. Modern coinage has become an interesting field because the United States Mint has made design changes and introduced new features that set certain years apart. The 2006 nickel marked the return to a classic theme with Monticello, but with an updated portrait of Jefferson, making it both familiar and fresh. Many collectors aim to build complete date and mint mark sets, which means every coin, even the common ones, plays an important role in terms of long-term value. It is unlikely that the 2006 nickel in extra fine condition will ever be considered a major rarity because so many millions exist. However, as coins continue to circulate, fewer nice examples will remain. Over time, finding extra fine or better pieces in circulation will become harder, and that scarcity could slowly increase demand. This is why collectors recommend saving clean, attractive nickels from modern years, even if their value today is modest. To summarize, the 2006 Monticello Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition typically sells in the range of 20 to 50 cents in today's market. Rolls of these coins can fetch about $10 to $12 depending on condition, and error coins or certified high-grade examples can be worth much more. For collectors, this coin is not only about its current dollar value but also about preserving a piece of modern American coinage history. So, if you have a 2006 nickel in your collection or you come across one in your change, take a close look at its condition. If it shows sharp detail and only light wear, it may qualify as extra fine, giving it a little more value than you might expect. And who knows, it might also spark your interest in building a larger set of Jefferson Nickels, a series that continues to be a favorite among collectors, both for its accessibility and its historical significance. Next up, the 2017 Jefferson Nickel with the P mint mark. In discussing its value when found in extra fine condition in the current coin market, the year 2017 was not an ordinary year for the Jefferson Nickel. For collectors, it became quite special, because this was the first time in history that the Philadelphia Mint placed its mint mark, the letter P, on circulating nickels. For decades, coins struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all. Only special issues like wartime nickels or collector sets bore the P. But in 2017, to celebrate the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint, the decision was made to add the P mint mark to the circulating nickel. This historical event makes the 2017 P Jefferson Nickel unique and worth attention among coin collectors. The coin itself follows the standard Jefferson nickel design. On the obverse or front side, you see the portrait of Thomas Jefferson that was introduced in 2006. This forward-facing image replaced the earlier left-facing portrait that had been used since 1938. Along with the portrait, you find the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty, the year 2017, and importantly, the letter P, indicating the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse side of the coin is Jefferson's home, Monticello, the neoclassical mansion in Virginia. The word Monticello is displayed prominently, along with the motto, E pluribus unum, the denomination 5 cents, and the legend United States of America. Now let us discuss why this coin carries collector interest. With billions of nickels produced each year, most modern nickels are not rare and often trade only for face value. However, the 2017 P nickel stands apart because it marks a turning point in minting history. Collectors value it not only for its design, but also for its symbolism. As it was the first time the P mint mark appeared on a circulating nickel, this makes it a first year of issue coin, which usually attracts long-term collector demand. When it comes to condition, extra fine is an important grade to understand. Coin grading is the process of describing the quality and preservation of a coin, ranging from poor condition to perfect mint state. An extra fine coin shows light wear on the highest points of the design, but all major details remain sharp and visible. For a 2017 nickel, which has been in circulation for only a few years, an extra fine example would mean it has been lightly used but still retains a pleasing appearance. Collectors generally look for such pieces as affordable yet attractive additions to their collections. So what is the actual value of a 2017 P Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition? In today's coin market, most examples still trade close to face value because the mintage was very high. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 470 million of these coins. Such a large number means they are readily available. An extra fine example may bring a small premium to collectors who want a nice piece for their collection, usually in the range of 10 cents to 50 cents. While this is not a huge amount of money, it is certainly above face value and shows how history and symbolism can add to the worth of even a common coin. It is important to note that condition beyond extra fine can make a significant difference. Uncirculated examples, especially those graded in mint state by professional grading services, can command several dollars each. Coins with exceptional luster, no contact marks, and sharp strikes may even reach higher prices depending on the buyer's interest. But for circulated extra fine pieces, the market value is modest, typically under $1. Many collectors choose to save the 2017 P nickel not because of immediate high value, but because of its future potential. As years go by and more of these coins disappear from circulation, preserved examples in extra fine or better condition could gradually increase in demand. Collecting is not only about present-day prices, but also about long-term historical significance. In that sense, the 2017 P nickel has a bright future in the hobby. Another aspect worth mentioning is the educational value of this coin. For new collectors, the 2017 P nickel provides a clear lesson on how mint marks, history, and anniversaries influence coin collecting. It shows that even modern coins, available in everyday change, can carry stories worth learning about. It also demonstrates the importance of condition and grading when determining market value. To summarize, the 2017 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark is historically important as the first circulating nickel from Philadelphia to display that letter. In extra fine condition, its current market value is generally between 10 cents and 50 cents, with most examples closer to the lower end of that range due to the high mintage. While the financial premium may be small, the coin's significance, in US numismatic history, is undeniable. Collectors often save these coins for their uniqueness, with the hope that future demand will enhance their value over time. Next up, the 2014 D Monticello Jefferson Nickel remains part of the long and proud tradition of this series. Many people overlook modern nickels in their pocket change, but certain examples can hold collectible value, especially when they are in higher grades and come from specific mints. Today, we are focusing on the 2014 D Jefferson Nickels struck at the Denver Mint, and more specifically, looking at how much an example in extra fine condition is worth in today's coin market. To begin with, it is important to understand the basic background of this coin. The 2014 D Jefferson Nickel was produced in the Denver Mint, and millions were struck that year. Because of such a large mintage, most 2014 D nickels are common and still circulate heavily in commerce today. However, collectors evaluate coins not just by mintage but also by their condition, demand, and historical significance. When you find a coin that is preserved better than the majority, its value goes up because collectors are always looking for high-quality examples for their sets. That brings us to the concept of grading. The term extra fine, often abbreviated as XF or FC, refers to a grade level where the coin still shows sharp details, but there may be slight wear on the highest points of the design. In an extra fine 2014 D nickel, Jefferson's hair and cheek should be clearly visible, though there may be some flattening on the very highest parts. On the reverse, Monticello should remain well defined, with its steps, windows, and columns still showing strong details, though slight wear can appear on the dome and steps. Collectors are generally more interested in coins that are uncirculated or mint state, but extra fine condition still appeals to many who enjoy building sets without paying high prices. Because of the year 2014 being relatively modern, finding uncirculated examples is fairly easy, which means extra fine coins are not considered rare. However, some collectors still seek them out for affordable collection building. The real question becomes, how much is a 2014 D Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition worth in today's market? The truth is that the value of this coin is relatively modest compared to older Jefferson nickels or those with special errors. In most cases, a circulated 2014 D nickel will trade for face value, which is 5 cents. When it comes to extra fine condition, you may see prices slightly above face value, typically around 10 to 20 cents if sold individually to collectors who want specific grade examples. In bulk, coin dealers usually treat them as face value coins, unless they are part of a full set. It is worth noting that the coin market always changes based on demand, and while the 2014 D nickel is not considered scarce, it can gain attention if included in registry sets or as part of a modern nickel collection. Some collectors enjoy having one example from every year and every mint mark, which means they will be willing to pay a little over face value for coins in better condition. Additionally, coins that are slabbed and certified by professional grading companies such as PCGS or NGC can sometimes bring a premium, though submitting a coin like this for grading would not be cost-effective since the grading fees are higher than the value of the coin itself. That being said, coins in mint state or higher, especially those graded MS65 and above, can sometimes reach a few dollars in value. But for extra fine, the price generally remains low. Even though the 2014 D Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition does not bring high dollar amounts, it still holds value in another way. Collectors often start with modern nickels as an affordable entry point into the hobby. This allows beginners to learn about coin grading, mint marks, and the history behind U.S. coinage without spending large sums of money. The 2014 D nickel plays a role in that because it teaches collectors about the Denver Mint, which has been producing coins since the early 1900s, and about how condition affects value. If you happen to find one in your change, it is always good practice to hold on to it if the details are sharp and clear. Over time, when building a full set of Jefferson nickels, even the more common years like 2014 help complete the picture. When you look at the coin closely, you can appreciate the design of Jefferson's profile created by sculptor Felix Schlag and the classical architecture of Monticello, which ties the coin to America's history and heritage. In conclusion, the 2014 D Monticello Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition is a coin that holds more sentimental and educational value than financial worth. In today's market, it is generally valued at around 10 to 20 cents, only slightly above its face value. While it may not be considered one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever struck, it still plays an important role for collectors who enjoy completing sets and studying American coinage. Sometimes the true value of a coin is not measured in dollars, but in the enjoyment and knowledge it brings to those who collect it. The 2014 D nickel reminds us that even modern coins carry stories of history, design, and the ongoing legacy of America's coinage. So next time you come across one in your pocket change, take a closer look, because every coin has a story, and this nickel is part of that story. Next up, the 2008 P Jefferson Nickel. This coin belongs to the long-running Jefferson Nickels series, which has been issued since 1938 and remains a favorite among collectors because of its accessibility. its design, and the historical figure it honors. While the Jefferson nickel is still in everyday use, certain dates and mint marks can draw attention, especially when we consider their value in the collector's market. The 2008 P nickel, though relatively modern, holds interest not only for those who collect Jefferson nickels by date and mint mark, but also for people who wonder how much value even a coin as recent as this might hold today, when found in good condition. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The obverse features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, third President of the United States, and the reverse originally featured Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. Over the years, there have been some design changes, particularly during the Westward Journey series from 2004 to 2005, but in 2006, the United States Mint returned to a more traditional Monticello design, though with a new forward-facing portrait of Jefferson. By 2008, the coin continued with this updated design. For the 2008 P nickel, the obverse shows the contemporary portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse retains the classic Monticello depiction. When looking at value, we should first consider mintage. In 2008, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 300 million Jefferson nickels. That is a very large number, which generally means that this coin is common and easy to find. Because of this, a circulated example, even in good condition, will usually trade for its face value of 5 cents. This is important to understand because many people new to collecting assume that any older coin automatically has high value. But in reality, rarity and condition play the biggest roles in determining market prices. For a coin like the 2008 P nickel, condition is critical. In good condition, which means it shows significant wear from circulation but is still identifiable and intact, the value will usually remain close to 5 cents. Dealers will rarely pay more than face value for such an example because they are still widely available in circulation. However, if you find a coin in higher grades, such as extremely fine, about uncirculated, or mint state, then the value can increase. In mint state condition, meaning the coin has never circulated and retains its original luster, collectors may pay anywhere from 50 cents to a couple of dollars depending on grade. Third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC assign numerical grades on the Sheldon scale, ranging from MS60 up to MS70. A 2008 P nickel in MS65 or MS66 can sometimes sell for $2 to $4, while superb gem examples in MS67 might bring $15 or more at auction. Another factor that adds value to modern nickels is the presence of errors or varieties. Though the 2008 P nickel is not widely known for major errors, collectors always keep an eye out for doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unusual features. These mint errors can make an ordinary nickel worth far more than its face value. For example, a dramatic off-center strike could bring $10 to $20, while a strong doubled die variety, if discovered, might command even higher prices. Such coins are rare and must be authenticated, but they are always worth checking for when examining your change. Market demand also influences value. With modern Jefferson nickels, the demand comes largely from collectors who assemble complete date and mint mark sets. Someone building a set from 1938 to the present will need a 2008 P example. But because the coin is common, the value in circulated condition remains minimal. Still, when coins are certified by grading services and reach very high grades, such as MS67 or above, they can become condition rarities. Even with a huge mintage, only a small fraction survive in such perfect states, and that is what drives premium prices at auctions. If you are holding a 2008 P Jefferson nickel in good condition, meaning it has been in circulation and shows visible wear, its value is still 5 cents in the current market. Collectors simply do not pay more for such pieces. However, if you enjoy coin collecting, it can still be a meaningful addition to your personal set, especially if you are working toward a complete run of Jefferson nickels by date and mint mark. Over time, coins like this may not appreciate significantly in value, but they help tell the story of American coinage and remain a tangible link to history. In summary, the 2008 P Monticello Jefferson nickel is a common modern coin with a very large mintage. In good condition, its value in today's market remains at 5 cents, the same as its face value. In higher mint state grades, prices can range from 50 cents up to several dollars, and superbly preserved examples may bring $15 or more. Rare errors or varieties could potentially be worth even more, but those are not typical. For most people who find a 2008 P nickel in pocket change, it will not bring financial profit, but it can spark an interest in collecting, and that is often where the true value lies. Whether you are just beginning to collect or are already advanced in the hobby, coins like the 2008 P Jefferson nickel remind us that even everyday change can hold stories worth exploring. It shows how condition, rarity, and collector demand interact to determine market value. While your nickel may be worth only 5 cents today, it still represents a piece of American history and a step in the larger journey of coin collecting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more coin collecting content, see you in next time. Happy collecting.